It's always a depressing time of the year around these parts in sports radio because we just have 3 games left, 2 on Sunday, and then we got to wait a couple weeks for Super Bowl Sunday. And that's all she wrote on the 2022 season as we are in 2023 now. And we're down to the Final Four. That's it. Now, Super Bowl 57, 2 weeks from Sunday. And the NFC title game on Fox has the 49ers visiting the Eagles. And that game, the Eagles favored by 2.5 points in that game in the NFC. The AFC game, which is the late game, matches up the Bengals and the Chiefs, and that line has gone all over the place. It started out, the Chiefs were favored by 2.5. Then Cincinnati was favored by a point, and now it's gone back the other way, and Kansas City is favored by 1.5 at Chile Arrowhead Stadium on Sunday. And so only 2 will be left standing by the time we get back behind these microphones. The weekend ends late Sunday night, early Monday morning, depending on which time zone you're in. And you probably know the storylines going into this weekend, but maybe not. In the NFC, it's the unwashed Brock Purdy, the great unwashed, trying to knock the mighty Eagles' nest down and and spoil the coronation of the dual-threat quarterback Jalen Hurts, who's had a remarkable breakthrough season in Philly. He's become elite, and if you get to the Super Bowl, then you're like extra double scoops of elite if you can get to that Super Bowl, and that would be the number 1 seed Philadelphia Eagles. Now, in the AFC, it would be the official passing of the baton from Patrick Mahomes to Joe Burrow. I realize what happened last year, but if you do it back-to-back years, if the Bengals are able to slay the dragon that is the Chiefs for the second consecutive year, man, that's something. And you have the subplot, the juicy subplot, the injured Mahomes. Didn't look that injured in the video that's popping up on the internet with the high ankle sprain. So let us discuss the question going into the championship weekend. Which Super Bowl matchup would bring the most juice? What is the sexiest matchup? So the only possibilities are Chiefs 49ers, Chiefs Eagles, Bengals Eagles, Bengals 49ers. Some combination of one of those 4 matchups will take place. So I've got the Abominable Snowman, Beanstalk, and Fire Hose. And we will combine all of these random things together, and we are going to make the Baba Ganoush is what we're going to make. Easy on your stomach, like this show is easy on the ear, unless it's not. So to kick off the festivities here, we preface this by pointing out the obvious, that the Super Bowl is a bulletproof event, that the teams do not matter. In my lifetime, I have seen, believe it or not, the Arizona Cardinals play in a Super Bowl. I've seen the Carolina Panthers play in a Super Bowl. It hasn't damaged the magical powers of captivating a massive audience. It is not a sporting event. It is a cultural event on the calendar. So we know that this is an event, the Super Bowl, where people that aren't like us, we're sports people that don't have the sports gene will watch. So that disclaimer out of the way. Now from the marketing side, I'm putting my marketing hat on. On Benny's big board, the matchup that would trump all other matchups based on the teams remaining, I've got the Chiefs and 49ers, a rematch of a couple years ago as the end-all, be-all matchup. That would be the Abominable Snowman, the Yeti of matchups, grandiose. And let me tell you why. Let me make my elevator pitch why that would be, from a marketing standpoint, the matchup. Because you'd have Patrick Mahomes, the gold standard of NFL quarterbacks this generation. It would be his 3rd Super Bowl appearance, overcoming the big injury with a gritty, gutty performance in the Super Bowl, or in the AFC Championship game, to get to the Super Bowl, the stuff of legends. The Chiefs, the big bad number 1 seed in the AFC, that's the better conference in football right now. And then on the other side, you'd have Cinderella, Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, left for dead at the NFL draft, the last player picked from sleepy Iowa State, off the grid. A new generation's Kurt Warner. Although Kurt Warner was a better story. But you also have two massive fan bases. The Chiefs Kingdom, they have their tentacles spread outward from Kansas City all over that region. The 49ers are a blue blood of the NFL. That's been passed down from grandfather, father, and son, going back to Bill Walsh, Joe Montana, cats like Roger Craig and Jerry Rice and people along those lines, Ronnie Lott, the legends of that era. So that's the top matchup for some juice in the NFL. With a wink and a nod, I know the Eagles have a large fan base, but not as large as the 49ers. Now, furthermore, from an individual standpoint, who's the player? This is a quiz. Who's the player who will be able to cash in the most from winning and getting back to the Super Bowl? So it's always a quarterback, right? It's always a quarterback. And many people are saying it's Jalen Hurts because that will solidify and verify and validate that this guy's the real deal. But I'm going the other direction on this one, and it's a guy that has already played in the Super Bowl. It's not Patrick Mahomes. Joe Burrow. I'm going Joe Burrow. All right, that's the guy. Period. Stop. Now, we have it on good authority that by the time the NFL storytellers get done, should Cincinnati win at Arrowhead on Sunday, that Burrow will be a parabolic figure, part of a pigskin fairy tale. And we mentioned the passing of the baton, Mahomes to Burrow, Burrow to Mahomes, back-to-back years. Sorry, Jack, this would be Joe and the Beanstalk, a young Joe trading the family's only cow for a handful of magical beans. And when a giant beanstalk sprouts overnight, Joe seizes the opportunity. He climbs the giant up to the giant castle there and steals the Lombardi trophy with all the magical possessions. Fee, fi, fo, fum. I think that's how it goes. I haven't heard that in a long time. But we have already seen this legend play out on social media. We mentioned this earlier in the program. It is our understanding, we're not in this world, but it is our understanding that Joe Burrow's name has been one of the top trends on the app TikTok. Why? Because ladies, the women on the TikTok there are making thirst trap videos for him. They're like, hey, Joe, look what my mama gave me. And so please keep your panties on. I guess that's the algorithm on TikTok right now. Joe Burrow. Who knew? All right, parting shot. So these teams this week have used different degrees of diplomacy, shall we say. Like I would say the Eagles have had the least amount of trash talk based on a minutes-long review. The 49ers have had a little bit. Deebo Samuel goofing a bit on the Eagle fan. But most of the noise, for our purposes, has come from the AFC. God bless them, right? Political correctness is not the theme of the week. The Bengals started taking shots at the Chiefs before the clock hit zero in their divisional playoff game against the Bills. You probably saw the video or heard the video, the audio. You had Mike Hilton, the defensive back in Cincinnati, who can be heard saying, "We'll see you all in Burrowhead," or at Burrowhead. And that was actually before the game was over. It was a rout. Buffalo was getting smoked. And where the Buffalo roam off the cliff. And before the game was final, you had Eli Apple dancing for the camera and then goofing on Damar Hamlin on Twitter. And for those who are in the back of the room, who are a little slow, that obviously is a play on Arrowhead Stadium and the reference to Joe Burrow, who has yet to lose. He's not going to be unbeaten forever against the Chiefs. Will he lose on Sunday? But since being drafted way back in 2020 during a global pandemic, he has been unbeaten against the Chiefs. Now, that's mostly Cincinnati trash talk, which we love. How about Kansas City? Now, their linebacker, Willie Gay Jr. That's right, Willie Gay Jr. He was asked about all the noise. Who? You don't know who Willie Gay Jr. is?
Never heard of him.
You never met his father, Willie Gay Sr.? Bad job by you. Anyway, Willie Gay Jr., pretty good player, was asked about the trash talk. And he pulled out a butcher knife All right, now, he started out generic. He started out with, I'm just excited to play football and all that. And he quoted his coach. And then, listen, we have the audio on this. He unloads a haymaker when a reporter asked, what about the Bengals offense impressed him the most? Let's go to the audio tape. Here's Willie Gay, the Chiefs linebacker.
I'm just excited to be playing football, man. That stuff is just what comes with the game, We, like Coach Reed said, we don't do no talking. We just go handle business when it's time to go.
What is it about that Bengals offense that maybe impresses you the most? You played them a few times.
Nothing.
Okay.
That is perfect. We don't do the talking. No talking. We just go out and handle our business when it's time to go. And the next thing he says is trash talk. It's outstanding. Now, you know how I feel. If you've been with me a long time, you know I do not believe that this will decide the outcome of the game. I'm not your typical hack sports media guy. Oh, my God, bulletin board material. I don't believe in home field advantage other than weather. I don't believe in bulletin board material, veteran experience, a lot of that stuff, right? Momentum, I don't believe in that either. But that was pretty good by Willie Gay. I laughed when I heard that. I carved him up pretty good there. So who's won the trash talk battle? Chiefs and Bengals. The scales on this one are leaning towards Cincinnati, right? Most of the time, whoever punches first will end up winning, right? The sucker punch. Just like that. The guys from Cincinnati have had a fire hose in their repartee. Right? They are connoisseurs. Quips, rips, and dips. And the Bengals have certainly overpowered Kansas City with waves of rambunctious smack. They're going to win that Jim Rome smack off there. Grab a vine. None of that, of course, will impact the game. It really sucks because it's only who plays better on Sunday. Like if Patrick Mahomes comes out and needs a cane, then the Bengals are going to win. If this is all a ruse, and this is some kind of deep fake, and Mahomes didn't actually have a high ankle sprain, it was like a mild sprain, not a high ankle sprain, and it was misdiagnosed and he's fine, then the Chiefs will win by 3 touchdowns. So we will find out this coming weekend, and we'll all find out together. Wonderful.